Hey guys, welcome to part 15 of my discord.py making a Discord bot in Python YouTube tutorial series. In this video we're going to be going over how to create a leveling system, and essentially what our leveling system is going to do is it's just going to allow it's going to allow the users to gain sort of experience as they type messages in the server and then level them up according to an algorithm that, or not an algorithm, but a formula that we are going to create ourselves. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So let's just jump right into that. First of all, you're going to want to go up to the top of your file and you're going to want to add import JSON. And the reason for that is because JSON is the type of file that we're going to be using to store our user data. Some of you guys may not like that, but for the sake of simplicity and I guess ease for newer programmers, we're going to be going with that. And actually, now that I think about it, another thing you're going to want to worry about is that your directory, or that your file is your file directory is the correct directory that you want to be accessing. That came out really badly, but I'll just tell you what to do. Basically, you're just going to want to import the OS module, and just in case, this may not be a problem for everyone, but if you do this, I can almost assure you'll be totally fine. Just do os.chdir, and that stands for change directory. And then inside a string, you're just going to go to your file explorer and get the path to your bot file or the bot file folder. And so you're just going to copy that and paste it in as a string. But keep in mind that you actually need to be using a raw string, and in order to change that to a raw string, you just put this R right at the beginning, right before the apostrophe, right? So we have that. So this just makes sure you're accessing the correct directory, and JSON is just to make sure that we are able to manipulate JSON files. So that's essentially it. Now we're going to start getting into sort of the actual code. So we're going to be using two events in this video. Client.event. We're going to be using async def on member join. So this will sort of update our file whenever a user joins the server. We'll just put that in there for now. And the next one we're going to be using is async def on message, and we're going to need to pass in the message. And the reason we're using these two events are because on member join, when a member joins, we'll be able to sort of get them set up and ready to work with our system. And on message, I mean, that's sort of self-explanatory, but it's also so that we can access users who are not already in the system. So I guess you could create maybe something like a command where you can just hit like update JSON. It'll iterate through everyone in your server, things like that. But we're just gonna do it as an on-message event, because then let's say there are some users in your Discord server, excuse me, that are no longer active. You don't necessarily have to worry about them, and their information won't be clogging up your file. So you can mess with that, but that's how I'll be doing it for this video. So first of all, we're going to want to sort of create our JSON file. So let's just do that. We're going to create a new file, and I'll just call it, I don't know, users.json, just like that. And we'll just save that. Well, not necessarily. And we're just going to put two curly brackets just like that, and that's going to represent sort of like an empty dictionary. That's how we're going to use it. But yeah, just leave it like that. So going back over to our Python file, we are going to open the JSON file, and we're going to do that simply like this with open, and then we're just going to say users.json, and we're going to open it in sort of read mode, and we're going to set it to the variable f, just f for file. We're going to say users, which is going to represent the JSON data. Users is equal to json.load f. All right, pretty straightforward. So we're going to have code in here. Whoops, command prefix. Nope. Code, there we go. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. That's just so you know that we're not done with this function. We're just sort of prepping it. And we're just going to close the file, or not close the file, but because we're using with. But we are just going to sort of update our user's information and then dump it back into the file. So we're going to say with open users.json. We're going to open it, sorry, not in read, in write, and say as f, because f is a temporary variable. We can reuse it, and even then we could just overwrite it. And we're just going to say json.dump users f, just like that. And that's sort of, for the most part, all the JSON manipulation that we need. We also do need it down here, but it's more or less the same thing, so you can just copy that on over, just like that. So now what we'll do is we'll have our file being opened. We'll manipulate the information as we see fit. Obviously, this is going to differ, and then we'll just dump it back in the file. Same thing down here. Okay, now we get into sort of creating our helper functions, because a lot of the code is reusable, and by a lot I mean a little, but whatever, doesn't matter. Anyways, so we are going to sort of create, I don't know, like 3 or 4 helper functions that are just going to represent different sort of segments of the code. We'll have one to update our JSON file. We'll have one to like add experience. We'll have one to check if the user has leveled up, things like that, right? So yeah, let's actually just create them now. These are going to be asynchronous helper functions, so they will need to be awaited. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say you have a function called, I don't know, test, something like that. You're going to do await test. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, so first of all, we're going to want to await our update data. And we're going to want to pass in the users, like the users being the JSON file information, because we're obviously going to want to manipulate that, and the member. All right, and that's really all we want to do in the onMemberJoin function. When a user joins, we're just going to update our JSON file with their information, and then as they message or whatever you want to set this to, it doesn't necessarily have to be on message, it could be on command usage, but for us it is. It will be updated as we see fit. All right, so in our onMessage function, we are also going to say await, not client, update data, and we are going to be passing in users and message author, right? Because here we have a member, which is a sort of Discord user object or Discord member object. And obviously we can't use the message as an object, but we can access the author of the message using message.author, right? All right. So the next function that we are going to be creating is add experience, just like that. So we can say users message author and probably the amount of experience. So like, I don't know, 5, right? So again, this is just so we can manipulate the users. We can have the actual user to work with, and then this is just how much experience we're going to be giving them. And we also are going to want an await, like, I don't know, level up, something like that. That's just going to detect, like, you know, we'll add the experience, and then it'll sort of check if the experience that we have given warrants a level up for that user. So we're going to pass in users, message.author, and because we're actually going to be sending a message saying like, oh, you know, oh, you leveled up, or this guy leveled up, whatever, into the server channel, we're going to want to also pass message.channel. All right, so that's that. Pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. Here, let me just get rid of some of that extra space. But now let's deal with making these helper functions. So first of all, let's do update data. So we're just going to say, or not await, async def update data. And then we're going to have our users and our user. So just like that. And then we're going to say, if not user ID in users, user ID is equal to an empty dictionary, right? So essentially what that's going to do is it's going to check the users list right here, and it's just going to check, hey, is this user already in the list? If no, throw them in, right? So for the next line, we're just going to say user ID. Oh boy, user ID. There we go. And experience. And we're just going to set that to 0. And user ID level, because we're going to need to store the level, is also equal to 0. Actually, let's make it 1, right? Because everyone starts at level 1. Hey guys, after going through the editing process, I realized that my audio cut out for the rest of that video, so just redoing it from there. So anyways, we were at our add experience function, so we're just gonna start from there and just go async def add experience user and nope, not channel yet, exp. All right, and just like that, we're going to just access sort of the experience part of the dictionary that we will be pulling from our JSON file. So just like that, it's going to be user.id experience, and then we're just going to add the exp amount that we specified when we called our function. Oh, what happened? Go back. Exp. Boom. Pretty straightforward function. And last but not least, async def level up, and user, and lastly channel. So for this one, we're just going to say experience is equal to user ID experience, right? We're just going to save it, and then we're going to say level, I guess, start is equal to user ID level, just like that. And then level, or not level, keep it consistent. End, which is going to sort of be the ending level that they'll have after we've calculated their experience. So level end will be equal to the integer value of experience to the power of 1/4. Now, you guys might be thinking, why the heck is this experience to the power of 1/4? This is actually the formula that you're going to be using to calculate your EXP, to calculate your levels. You're going to need to create a function with respect to experience that will end up producing the level. So essentially what this is it'll take the amount of experience and take it to the power of 1/4, which is sort of like the fourth root, and yeah, and then it'll floor that value and produce it as an integer. But well, the integer function will floor it and save it in level.end. All right, then we're just going to say if level.start is less than level.end, meaning if our beginning level is lower than what our ending level is, which means if we leveled up, await client.send message, going to pass in our channel, and then we're just going to say something like has leveled up to level that, and then we'll just format it and say excuse me, user dot mention, and I guess level underscore, or not like that, there we go, level underscore end, and yeah, oh, and we also want to update our level in our JSON file. So user ID level is then equal to level.end, and that's that. So we can save that, and let's run it. Open in browser, got Discord over here, and I'll pull it over. So it doesn't look like we have any errors. So here, let's let me see if I can organize this a bit better. Okay, move this here, move this somewhat down here, and I'm going to switch to the JSON file here, there. So if I send a message, I don't know, test, as you can see, it added me to the file. That was part of our, where is our code? That was a part of our update data, right? It set us to 0 experience and then 1. Then we ran add experience where we added 5. And then it checked if there was a level up, which in this case there wasn't, right? So let's go back to this and do, I don't know, test again. Level 10, or sorry, experience is 10, level is 1. One more time, 15. Again, as you can see, we leveled up that 20 experience. It brought us to level 2, and our bot told us Lucas has leveled up to level 2. And we can just sort of keep spamming, and as you can see, it'll slowly get harder and harder to level up because the function. Oh, please don't lag me out. Oh, there we go. It kind of stuttered. That was because I was spamming it. But yeah. And that's essentially how you create sort of a leveling system. Here, I'll delete this just so it's not confusing. But yeah, if you have any problems, if actually that double message thing happens, and you know it was something that you found in the code, let me know. But I've tested this code. It shouldn't have that error, so I'm pretty sure it was because it stuttered. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. That's the gist of how to create a leveling system in Python. If you liked it, leave a like down below, and leave a comment telling me what other videos to make, because I'm running out of ideas. And yep, that's it. Hopefully this recording didn't screw up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.